So I'm with Steven, Alpha Antennas, and Steven's going to tell us about something about for blind hams that you came up with.
Yes, this will pick up RF energy and convert it to DC.
Okay.
And a little speaker on the front, and it will go beep once a magnetic loop is tuned. So when a blind ham or really anyone decides that they don't want to use an analyzer anymore, they'll just take this, put it on top of their mag loop, and when they're transmitting, when they tune it, the most RF will suddenly be here on the tuned loop, and this will beep.
Oh, nice.
It's that easy.
Because I've tuned those things, and it can be...
It can be a bear.
Yes.
Yeah, it really can be. This one is about 90% easier to tune than anyone else's on the market.
Okay.
The reason is we build our own knobs that are underneath here, and they're large. It takes your hand away from the center of the capacitor.
Yeah.
And so your hand capacitance is removed. I would say 98% of the hand capacitance is removed also because we use a double-walled electrical enclosure. And so that capacitor becomes further even isolated from your capacitance, body capacitance. This here has a shielded Faraday loop for the pickup loop, meaning we only use the center core of the pickup loop. The braid is cut back and floats. Rejects all that RFI that you might hear on other loops. And exactly, the shielding is important. It's 100 watts. A lot of people are amazed. They're difficult to tune if you don't build them right.
Yeah.
And they're very, very, very sensitive if you don't put the shielding in place like we do. Okay. And if the knobs are a little smaller than this one here, I can show you how quickly it will tune. We have a radio here.
Okay.
And we'll just connect the radio. And we'll just use the S meter to tune it. That's how easy this is. So your S meter is right here. So as the meter goes to a louder noise floor, you'll see that it is tuned. So let's see if we can find a sweet spot. There it goes. All right, there you go. Now you're fully tuned on 40 meters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was all you needed to do to tune that. It's so easy. So let me turn this off and set it down.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. It took, this is version 17 of the mag loops. Well, so for the blind, we're going to make this in Braille. And so it will have a Braille touch and a pointer that the blind hams or sight impaired can tune the knob, and the knob will have a pointer that moves to all the Braille indicators for the different bands.
You're doing stuff for that, because we have one of our followers on HOA Ham Radio is also a blind, and he would love something like this, I'm sure.
Well, it makes it easier not just for those who are blind, but those who are able to see. Or if you're doing night ops and you don't want there to be any light, you can still tune this now without there being incursion into where you are operating from.
Right.
That can be very important after an event or otherwise, that you find yourself in a situation where light advertises your location. Well, not anymore. I'll go ahead and show you probably our most famous prepper loop, prepper antenna.
Is this your HOA one?
This is not an HOA buster, but an HOA buster can just put a match at the base of the gutter and put a clip on the gutter. And now your gutters are your antennas, very stealthy. Excellent for those HOAs. Ooh, HOA, right? This here is actually an off-center fed dipole. So here's one half of the antenna with the vertical, and then over here is the other half of the other antenna. In the center is the balun. Off-center fed dipole electrically. It just doesn't look like an off-center fed dipole.
Right. So you have a 4-to-1 in here?
So we used to know what this was, but we took a radioactive analyzer, which allows you to display 5 bands simultaneously. Deployed the antenna. We had the inductor in the open air, the balun, and we started changing all of the coils and all of the ferrite beads until finally, on all 5 bands, we got a dip on all 5 bands. We never measured the inductor, so we can honestly say we don't know what it is, and we don't care, because it works so well. And out of band, the SWRs are up here, meaning it's not a dummy load. If you find yourself with an antenna and you do a all the way down across all the bands, throw it away. You got ripped off. So if you're in the military, call me. We've got your military antennas.
You know what I was interested in was your thing come up here. Well, not this one so much, but you have like it's a Yagi. The Yagi thing?
Sure, yes. We do have the Yagis. So this is part of what the Yagi is.
Okay.
So this is a hub off the Yagi. These telescopic poles will go out 17 feet 9 inches,
Okay.
which means this can be tuned for resonance on 440 megahertz through 7 megahertz. Process that for a second.
Yeah. How big is the end of yours?
Oh yes. Is
Some of these-
it just a wire? No.
No,
It's
no.
actually
That's the end of it,
a
right?
thick. That's right. It's actually
nice.
a thick telescopic element.
So yours stays pretty.
These are rigid.
Straight
If you
rigid.
want to look up, you'll see
Okay.
there is no sag
No, that
on
looks
those
good.
that are deployed.
Looks good.
This will deploy on a dipole configuration, or on the top you'll notice it says vertical.
Okay.
This combines to be also a vertical antenna where you connect a counterpoise here. So
Okay.
now you have a vertical and a dipole, or a Yagi, all
So you need 2 of those for a Yagi, though.
for a Yagi, yes. And so the Yagi fits in this bag, as
Nice.
does this other antenna.
Nice.
It's legal limit.
Oh, that's good.
There are no coils or inductors or balance inside.
This is just basically a place to hook everything up. And,
This
and
is.
also to separate sides, right?
That's right. One other little trick we did. A normal dipole is flat and will have a 72 ohms. This is a V.
Uh-huh.
That changes the ohms to 50 ohms.
That's cool.
No need for a balun or anything to go from 72 to 50 ohms.
Nice.
Full legal limit on digital. Show me any antenna that does that. I don't know if there is one, but
It's back there.
SSB, full legal limit, and it's pretty neat.
And what's the center
enjoyed
for?
this. That
You
is
just-
the
you just do a
that-
center?
So on this one, you
Okay.
you remove one of the elements, and then you move this element to here. That's your vertical at that point.
Okay. So how are you making it a Yagi?
The Yagi, this will just go on a boom,
Okay.
and
The
on
bottom, you just bolt the bottom to it?
right, there's a bolt on the bottom,
Okay.
and that goes on the boom, and then on the back side is your other hex antenna for your Yagi configuration.
That's awesome.
Thank
I'm
you.
an antenna guy, so
Yeah.
you got my attention right off the bat.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by. This is a lot of fun. It's become more of an art than anything. A lot of science goes into it, but if you can change the way things look and the way they're done and how light things become, well, every
bet.
now and again, it's really rare to find a way to improve an antenna, but when you go and you make a V dipole to be 50 ohms, that's
That's
done
different, yeah.
before, but to put it in a portable system that is only 4.5 pounds,
So you can get 40 out of this thing. So
40 meters, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to find someone who says, I must have 80 meters. Well, if you do need 80 meters, the loop will do 80 meters.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah.
So,
A 21-foot, 9-inch double outer loop enables 80 meters.
so where can they find you guys?
alphaantenna.com. You
That's
can
pretty
text
easy,
us
guys.
from there, call us to 800 number.
And I'll try to throw a link in my video when I do it. So,
Oh, great. Sounds super.
all right. Thank you, man.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure.